All right, good morning, everyone. We're going to play some pro basketball time this morning. This is a game. This is a celebration of the remastered, revised republication of Time Sports 4. This was out briefly on October 11th of 2024 for until Time Sports 5 was made. Then this was pulled. I have since gone back and remastered, revised, refined the 4 versions that were in this book originally, and I've also added football, racing, and boxing to this. So this is, in going again, I said I'm going through my archives and some of my old publications and looking at the versions of those games, and I was gobsmacked by some of the differences. So I decided this deserved some love to be republished, but I first fixed all typos, cleaned it up, refined some things, fixed some rules. This actually features, for the first time, Soccer Time 2. So for those who don't know, Soccer Time debuted in Big Country Time Sports and has never changed. Or I should say the first version, or this version, originally appeared in Time Sports 4, which became the Big Country Time Sports Soccer Time. However, I had some old ideas in this that I wanted to further point out. And so I technically refined this, and I would argue this is Soccer Time 2nd edition. And then Racing Time in this is really the 4th edition of Racing Time. So there's some interesting versions in here that would make them unique. And that's that. But the whole point of this video is I wanted to play the basketball game, and because I wanted to share my new point allocation rules for any version of basketball time, but in particular I made it for the simple versions of basketball time, and mostly because I've been playing my pro basketball time from this book since discovering it. I've been playing it the last couple of days and making rosters, and I said, I wanted to make sure I could track high scores. So I devised this point allocation rules guide. It's a guide, but you can call them rules for basketball and really any fast play basketball game. So let's play. I've already done their offense versus defense, so I got their game grades. Clearwater Rascals today against the Mount Shannan Hikers are a C, so they're going to be scoring here on the per quarter scoring charts. Mount Shannan against this defense will be a B. They'll be scoring on these charts in the basketball quarter scoring. If there are ties, and these are some of the new rules, if there's a quarter tie, we have to break it by using the bench grade. The Clearwater bench is better than the Mount Shannan Hikers bench. Players are not individually rated. This version of the game is based on offense, defense, and bench grade, and the players are in order here based on how the team would value Rex Freeman. So the team basically would see Rex Freeman as their best player, their second best player, etc. This just gives you a sense of the teams, but we don't individually rate because you don't have to have rosters at all in these, but I like to have it for depth, detail, etc. All right, so here we go. Clearwater will get the ball first as the visitors, and I will be rolling 2 dice. One will give me my point score. The second die will tell me who's the leader for that quarter. Okay, so here we go. Clearwater in the first quarter is going to score 21, and their 4th man. So Clearwater scores 21, and going to my allocation guide. This is the Time Sports 4 Pro Basketball Allocation Guide. I rolled a 4. That means on the C chart, my 4th man earned 9 points. So my 4th man is Simon Bell. So Bell gets 9 for the first quarter. Now we count down for everybody else. Number 2, Park scored 7. That right there is 16. I only have 5 points left to give. Next up, my 3rd man scored 4. Right, so that is 16, 20. I have 1 more point. That one is awarded to Max Cortland. So my center was my top scorer for the first quarter. Iggy Parks, the small forward, was my second guy. my sixth man coming off the bench, Bill Welcome, probably playing for these two losers who didn't do much for me in the first quarter, scored 4. And then off the bench, Max Cortland drained a free throw, right? So there's my first quarter for Clearwater. Let me go ahead and kick that out. There we go. Shannan, what do they score? We're looking at the B chart for them. Oh, Lordy, they're going to score a big time here. Let's go to my game. I rolled a 6. They're going to score 28 points. So Shannan at home lights up the crowd. And 6, though, their top score. And we look at B for scoring. Holy cow. Their sixth man off the bench scores 11. So their top man, Faber, that means their second man, you go right down the chart and then back to the top, is 8 points. So again, the bench is produced in the first quarter. And Ken Forbes, 5 points for Ken Forbes. And we go to the top for Gabriel Jones. Gabriel Jones scored 4. So we have now got 19, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. There it is. So there we have got our top scorers. So Carl Lefebvre, the sixth man center, in for possibly Gabriel Jones got in foul trouble. That's what I'm reading that as. Or maybe they ran a 2 big man system for much of the first quarter. But Lefebvre, who wants to be a starter somewhere in this league, proving he deserves to be. So again, I'm getting context at the end of the season. If this game grade for them, if their offense goes down, I could attribute that to Carl Faber becoming a starter somewhere else where they go up, right? I would put Carl Faber somewhere else, and I would make a new rookie center for the Mount Shannan, gee, many Christmas, Mount Shannan Hikers. All right, let's go ahead and go with Mount Shannan first because they're winning. So let's go ahead and roll Mount Shannan first to keep the drama going. Mount Shannan this time scores 23. So finally the defense for Clearwater slows him down. Oh, but Lefebvre on B, he scores another 11, which means we get another 8. That's 19. And 5 is 24, so 4. So the bench lighten it up. Gee, many Christmas. These guys are obviously playing good ball. Man, see if it's on defense because they ain't scoring points. So Lefebvre at halftime will be leading this team with 22 points. Clearwater on the C charts really needs to roll well. No, 21. They just can't muster anything. And 5 is going to be their top score. 9, 7, 4. That's going to be 9, 7 for the 16, 20. Right? That's 16, 20. Oh, that means the backup center will nail a free throw in a foul situation. So at halftime, folks, it's 42 to 51, right? Yep. And we got a kind of a blowout going here. The first half, right? All right, second half. We're going to start with Mount Shannan because they're leading. They're going to score 4. 4 is going to be 25 points. And 3. So their third man gets the top points. Finally, their starter. So this will be 0-0. And he'll get 11. This guy is 0-0. He gets 8. 0-0. He gets 4. So again, we got 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And guess what, folks? 19, 23, and 2-point buckets. So Carl Lefebvre still leading this team with 24 points in the third. All right, Clearwater really needs to have a big quarter. Yep, 4. They're going to score 24 points. Not enough to cause a bench check. 6. Oh, my land. Their man is going to get 9. Their third man. And then 7. And then 4. So 16, 20, and we have 5 to give. We come up here, and I think the 1, 2, 3, the fourth man on their charts, the fourth man gives 4. So that means finally Freeman gets in the game, and Troy will get a bucket from the free throw line. Okay, there we have it. This is it. Fourth quarter. And we're going to stick with Mount Shannan going because they are winning, and we keep that drama going. They're going to get a 1, folks. 22. They have a rough fourth quarter. Yeah, that is far. Okay, there we go. 22. And 2 is their top score here. So 0, 0, oops. 0, 0. So it took till the fourth quarter for Banks to get his 11. And that means Daniels will get 8. And that means Walter gets 4. So we got, again, we got 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 20. Oops. We got 19, 23. So we can't have that. So it's going to be 19, 21, 22, 23 is going to get 3. There we go. And let's find out what Clearwater does. They have to really hit a big number. 4. That's not going to be enough. 24 points. And their fourth man is their high. So we come here. And again, we know he went 0, 0, 4. This guy went 0. Oh, not 4. 9. Excuse me. 9. 7. Wow, this guy gets 4. And 9, 7, 4. That's, again, 16, 20. And last but not least, Cortland gets, and I think Cortland on the 4th gets 4. So he gets all his 4. And that's it. Game's over. Let's get our total. 42 and 48 is, 42 and 48 is 90. Is that right? And Mount Shannan gets 51 and 47 is 98. Not a bad game at all. Who's the high scorer? So let's put here Clearwater. Clearwater highs. Okay, so we've got 18. Wow, 16, 25 for Iggy, the small forward. He's considered by the ownership their 5th best player. Off the bench, we got a guy here with 16, 24. We got our backup guard, Max Cortland, gets 11, 15, 16. And Mike Raines gets 5. So clearly we have 18. We have 16, 20. What is that? 16, 23. And then we have 16, 24. So Billy Wycombe is forward. So we got who is their 6th man. So the 6th man forward, Wycombe, scores 24. Right? And then we have small forward Iggy Parks. Small forward Parks, 23. And then we have Simon Bell. Center Simon Bell scores, Bell scores 18. That's pretty sweet. So there's our top guys for the Clearwater. Mount Shannan, their top man. Oh, wow. 24. He didn't score in the 4th. But I think he's going to be the leader. Yep, he is the leader. So they're 6th man. So both 6 men kicked arse. One's a center, though. One's a forward. They're 6th man. Center, LeFabre, who's demanding that they pay attention as he wants a new contract or to be traded. He wants to start next year. That's 22-24. And next would be 19 for shooting guard, James Daniels. So shooting guard, Daniels with 19, and our 3rd man, 3rd high, let's see here, 19, 11, 4, 11, 4, 16, Lucas Downs. So off the bench, forward, Downs scores 16. So the benches played really well, clearly. Now, 6th man, you'd argue, is almost not a bench player. This guy would be a swing player who probably gets in the game quickly and for a long time. They might run a lot of big men because we also had their power forward get 11. They're shooting, Hal Banks got 11. So pretty sweet. So there is, folks, that is pro basketball time. We did not get to see the bench and how the bench and the tie breaks work. So maybe next time. There's my, just finished writing this up yesterday. as I was working this out for my league that I'm running, using Pro Basketball Time. And then I typed it up this morning. Hopefully there's not a lot of typos or things like that. And there's the scoring chart, and that's available for free in the Google Drive. And for those who are curious, this was originally published October 11th, 2024, but it was pulled once Time Sports 5 debuted. And then that was pulled when Big Country Time Sports debuted. And then eventually I made it Time Sports, which is my favorite of, I think 6 games, or 7 games are in that of my simple games. These surprised me. They were, number one, it was the title, and it was how these were, and I just refined them and revised them and fixed typos and added 3 games. So now this Time Sports 4 used to be titled that because there were 4 games in it that previously had not been in another game. So it had basketball, baseball, hockey, and soccer in it, as that was the reason for it. And then I decided not only to refine these, revise these, and go ahead and add football, racing, and boxing. Soccer Time, I would say, is the 2nd edition. Hockey Time, this would be the 5th edition. Baseball, this was Baseball Time 2nd edition, which is interesting. So I just tweaked it and tightened it up. This was called Pro Basketball. I don't know what edition. Probably the 3rd version. And then, of course, I put a Football Time version in here. I put a brand new Racing Time version in here, and Boxing Time is basically identical to all versions of Boxing Time. So the Boxing Time added to this has no tweaks or changes. Football Time is pretty much the same too. But Racing Time, I would argue, is actually the 3rd or 4th edition of Racing Time is in this version. So it makes it worth having if you haven't bought a book yet. If you already own your favorite, you don't need this, right? Okay. Anyway, so I went ahead and did this for me, but I wanted to type it up and share it. It's on the drive. And there is our scoring chart. As a matter of fact, let's go to the Google Drive, and I'll show people what I've done. So because I finished this, I put in a Time Sports 4 version 1.5 support. And in here, I put in a lot of the add-on documents that are already on here. For instance, if you play baseball, again, I cannot remember which gentleman wrote this for us. He didn't include his name in the document, and I can't find the email to give this gentleman credit. But there is a person in the community that made this for us for Baseball Time stat tracking. So that's in here for the baseball game. I put in my boxing. These are the official bout scoring decisions that are official for boxing. I put in my season stat generation for those who play fast play football games. You want at the end of the year generate stats for your top players. There you go. I put in my simple quick field for use for full football sims. My individual game stat generation sheets are in here. My Time Sports cap rules. This is for how you can give your players their age. So you know if they're rookies, their peak, or they're veterans, and of course that'll lead to their retiring. So it's without tracking years in the league, you just track their cap position. Those rules are in this folder. And then this brand new point allocation guide for allocating points to your fast play basketball games. Whether you're playing Basketball Time or not, you can use these concepts for fast play. You can use these ideas, of course, for hockey, any sport you want to create stat tables for. Don't rate the players. I just put the players in the order that kind of tell me that the Clearwater Rascals feature. They basically value Rex Freeman as their top player. Even if he isn't a point, he might be the top defensive player in the league. He might be whatever, or he might be the most expensive player on the team. It doesn't matter. I don't rate him. And then you see how this goes. So these guys don't have to be bench players. You could just, have your 8 players, roll that D6, and you know that somebody's going to generally be the top one. I just happen to roll over here 6 twice. So there's 6-man right now. Looks good. But this position is utterly random as far as the die roll to determine who's leading in the game. As you saw, the 6-man just had a brilliant day. But I could have rolled Gabriel Jones, twice, right? Which would make more sense because he is my Mount Shannan ownership certainly see Gabriel Jones as the reason this team is going to be a winner. And their first pro game here, debut tutorial pro game for this version of the game. Mount Shannan at home gets it done, 98-90. By the way, let's go ahead and do that half score, 48. I probably misadded too. Knowing me, I misadded. That's me. I tend to blow my basic math. 47 when I add in my head. So there we have it. 90 and 98. Yep. And there we go. Mount Shannan comes out strong, holds down Clearwater in the first half. Not struggles, but does manage to eke them in the third. And Clearwater clearly had trouble in the first and third, but Clearwater produced better in the second half. So there were some adjustments, clearly getting Simon Bell involved in the third, getting Iggy Parks more involved in the third. Iggy Parks, though, and Simon Bell started those first, that's the fourth quarter, getting them involved in the fourth quarter. So very cool. So again, you wouldn't even have to label who's starters, just put down your players, but you've got to have that die 6 in order, and then that's going to work. You're going to descend down from whoever the scorer was and back to the top until points run out. So Ragsdale distributed. Clearly, Ragsdale was responsible for getting the ball down low to the center and out to the small forward, but he clearly didn't contribute points. Over here, every single player on the team scored. That's pretty sweet. And, to get 98, you need 8 players scoring, right? Or you need a stud who gets 30, 40 points. They have a guy who really did well here, 24. So the league, despite the 9-point victory, Wycombe and Lefebvre both had 24 points as high as Parks outplayed Daniels. Unfortunately, it was the fact that everybody on their team got points. That was the difference. So you can see the narrative arise of how did they do it? Because here, the top 2 guys, pretty solid. Matter of fact, all 3 of their top guys, all 3 of their leaders were higher than theirs. But it's because everyone scored here. And not to mention the cap, because they were the B chart on offensive charts. Their top player could get 11, right? Over here, the top player can only get 9, right? So anyway, that's how that works. So hopefully everybody enjoyed that. I want everybody out there to have a fantastic weekend. I'll put a link to grab this, to this folder to grab those files, but certainly this one can be used with any fast play basketball game, especially fast play games that generate points per quarter. You could do this with totals too. You roll the die and you just count down. You would roll the die for each quarter, counting down. So you could do this with an instant results game as well, right? And then again, for those who are interested in having this particular version of 7 games, that's available again now, having been re-released as version 1.5. And there you have it. And then I'll put a link to this folder so people can get the game. All right, everybody, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.